that first initial marketing, what did you think the show was about fundamentally?
I think at first I was like, this is going to be like Glee meets OnlyFans or something. Like, it was a lot of tits and ass, a lot of sex, music. We obviously have The Weeknd, like absolute musical genius, like complete genius. And like, given that we've seen Beyonce, Lady Gaga, all these huge stars go from music to acting, I was like, this is really going to like rock our world, you know? But I think one of the descriptions I'd seen, it was like a pop starlet is recovering from a mental breakdown and she meets this shady guy who is a cult leader. So when I saw cult leader, I was like, okay, this is actually really interesting, because I know there's been like real life documentaries, but it hasn't really been dramatized, I don't think, in any big series. So I was like, this is really interesting. But then watching it, I was like, oh, I kind of thought like he kind of has the troupe of like the dancers and singers around him, but I thought it was really gonna, like, his history, he was going to be like very, very charismatic and alluring and stuff. And then I was like, oh Jesus, I was like, the poor Weeknd. I don't know, did he do any acting lessons before this? But my God, it's fairly dry now.
Yeah, my thing with it was, I was like, okay, so this is like exactly as you said, and exactly as that logline was, pop star, like down on her luck, looking for her next hit, gets involved with this guy who's like not right for it all, and he's potentially a cult leader. So I was like, okay, this is going to be like true crimey to a degree, which I don't love, but I was also going into this as a Euphoria fan, a fan of The Weeknd, who is now not going by The Weeknd, he's going as Abel Tesfaye. I think he'll start going back to The Weeknd after this absolute fucking disaster, but anyway. So I was like, I thought this was going to be kind of like less about the music and more, I actually thought it was going to be way, way darker than what it ended up being. And I suppose that's actually kind of one of my frustrations with it. It's that it was kind of like two shows in one, and it didn't do either of them well. Like, I don't know about you, but when it was funny, it was funny. But I feel like it would have worked if they played it like fully for laughs, like a 30 Rock kind of a thing, parody of a pop star, forget all the fucking shitty weirdo cult shit with Tedros or whatever, or go full dark, go full gore. It's not funny. Everyone's taking it very, very seriously, and it's not like this weird parody. You know what I mean? Like, did you get that, or was that just me?
I actually found, I think, was it, so season 1 is kind of like an intro to everyone. One issue I had was like, in terms of the music execs, there was like really big talent like Dan Levy, Jane Addams, there's all these people standing around, but I was like, okay, are we going to learn who the fuck these people are? They're just literally a crowd of people watching her, but like, I don't get who they are or anything. But for me anyway, at certain points of episodes, I was like pausing it and I was like, I am drained, like I'm exhausted. Like, if their point of this is to show how awful fame is and like how much you're pushed by so much people, like they've definitely achieved that target with me. Like, there was just some points I was just like I was finished an episode and I was like, I couldn't even move for 10 minutes because I was like, this is so, like, just slog. Like, and I think in terms of humour, like, I know they made headlines like with the joke, what's it, Andrew Finkelstein, like I'm what did he say, like I'm shitting blood more than a kid at Epstein's Island or something. Some of the jokes I think were very like, yeah, let's be dark, let's go there, like let's really show how awful these like music executives are and like how horrible LA is. But it just was really, really off really, really off kilter, and I don't know, there was a couple of times I was just like, that's just totally unnecessary. Like, I did find humour in some parts, like very, very rare, but the just showing the harshness. I mean, I literally don't know anything about music industry or execs in there, but I know like LA is literally like so pushy. Like, if you take a day off, someone else is ready to take your spot like the next day. So like Jane Addams and like Andrew Finkelstein, that character, like Haim, like all those guys were just like arseholes, like they had no souls, do you know what I mean? But yeah, there was times I was like, this is so draining, like I can't imagine being Jocelyn for even half a day.